All right, Algebra 2. Here is video number 2 starting on page 16. Just got, was that 6 more pages, I guess? To the end here, page 16, looking at number 4. Graphing that inequality set, what's inside the absolute value equal to 0. So 1, 5 is your vertex. Go 1 to the left with 0, 1 to the right with 2. Another to the left with -1, another to the right with 3. And those are the x values you're plugging in. Again, because of symmetry, let's just pick the two bigger ones. I know that x value of 2 and x value of 0 are going to have the same y value because of the symmetry. X value of 3, x value of -1 are going to have the same y value because of symmetry. Don't plug all 5 of them in. All right, less than or equal to solid line, and because it's less than, I'm going to shade under. 5 and 6 are pretty similar. Again, we might have done, after this video, we might have done, like, seriously, either in class or on this video, every single one. Set what's inside the absolute value equal to 0. Well, that's simply x is 0. The y part of the vertex, the y coordinate is 3. Go 1 to the left, 1 to the right, -1, 1. Go 2 left, 2 to the right with -2 and 2. Plug 1 and 2 in. You get 5 and 7. And shade under, less than or equal to, shade under. All right, in 17. Set -2x minus 8 equals 0. Be very careful there. You get -4. Go 1 to the left, 1 to the right. 2 left, 2 to the right. When you plug so did I do the -3 in for x? When you plug -3 in for x, you're going to get absolute value of -2, which is +2. When you plug -2 in for x, you get the absolute value of -4, which is +4. It's going to be a dotted line, makes a V, and you're going to shade under, less than. Here you're going to have the TP, okay, because it is a negative on the outside of the absolute value. So what's inside the absolute value equal to 0, you get -2 and 3. Go 1 to the left, 1 to the right. 2 left, 2 to the right. Plug -1 in for x. And then plug 0 in for x. You get 2 and 1. That does make the TP. Now we have greater than, so we will shade above. 0, 0 is technically below it. So if you plug 0, 0 in, you get 0 is greater than or equal to 3, which is false. If that is false, everything underneath is false. So you're shading above. That is a little bit more of a challenging one. Again, your quiz is not until next Friday. Algebra 2. Honors Algebra 2, we've covered this a bunch. Your quiz is Wednesday. All right, so what's inside the absolute value equal to 0? You get -3, or -1. -3 is the y coordinate. 1 to the left, 1 to the right. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Plug 0 in for x, 1 in for x. You get a -1 and then a +1. Those are the 5 points. Greater than or equal to, so solid lines, and you shade above. Okay, so I have the other two here on page 19, piecewise functions. If x is less than or equal to -5, so use -5, -6 for your x coordinates. Y is always -4, so boom, -4, -4. All right, so that's that part there. Again, equality, you have a closed circle. You're going to shade, you're going to have an arrow going all the way to the left. Now that middle part is y equals x plus 1. I'm going to use the boundary points of -5 and 3. So y is 1 more than that. So that's the equation, x plus 1. You get -4 and you get 3. You're going to have an open circle around -5, -4, and a closed one at 3, 4. Well, just like we had earlier, you're going to have an open circle go over a closed circle. So it's just going to be closed like that. It's continuous. And then lastly, if x is greater than 3, y is going to be 6. So use 3, 6, and 4, 6. Just at 3, 6, open circle, and you're shading, or you're drawing, I'm sorry, to the right. So that's a horizontal line to the right. Here's number 5. Y equals x plus 3 if x less than or equal to -1. So use -1, -2. You get a y value of 2 and 1. Then the second equation, use -1 and 5 for your x values. All right, y is simply going to be -5 in both. And lastly, for the third equation, use 5 and 6. And then x, or the y, is going to be twice that -4. Okay. At -1, +2, that's going to be a closed circle. And then it's going to go down like that. In between, you're going to have an open circle, so it makes that barbell. And then y, or x greater than or equal to 5, that's going to be a closed circle at 5, 6, and then it's going to go up like that. Here's an inequality. I would use cover-up method. 6x equals -12, so x is -2. -3y equals -12, so y is 4. So you have a y-intercept of 4, x-intercept of -2. It's going to be a solid line. Folks, we are not going to shade under. Because of this negative, if we were to put this in slope-intercept form, we would divide by negative and flip the sign. Here's where we should test 0, 0. 0, 0 is solidly under. When you plug 0, 0 in for x, you get a false statement. It means everything that is underneath it with 0, 0 is false. You shade above. So be very careful there. Page 20 is kind of on your own. Page 21 is the game time section. This time you're evaluating piecewise functions. So before, for a graph, I would put like -5 in both to graph it to show that, hey, there's going to be an open circle around it. Here it's going to head towards -5, whatever, but it's never going to be that. So when you're evaluating, -6 is less than -5. You have to use that first equation. Just plug -6 in for x. There's your answer. For B, you are using -5, so I'm actually going to evaluate that. X is only -5 in that second equation. First C here, x is -7, solidly in that first equation. Plug -7 in for x. And then x is 0 in that first equation. I'm sorry, that second equation, and that gives you 0. Number 2. Less than or equal -6, that would be the first equation. Plug that in. -4, that's going to be the second equation. Plug that in. +1 is going to be in that second equation. And 3 is going to be in that last equation. Just plug that into the last equation for x. All right, folks, there is an opportunity to earn candy later in the week with 2 answers here. Name all the years the Cardinals have won the World Series. List them out right there on the back. And then after that, name all the years the Cubs have won the World Series. Not going to need much room for that one. All right, anyway, folks, this is your game game plan video. It is due on Tuesday, and a bunch of points come in the next 2 weeks. This is Yak Math Videos signing out.